Welcome to Canada. In this video, we'll debunk 10 common stereotypes about Canada. We're talking about the Great White North, the land of maple syrup, and or is it? Get ready to learn some surprising facts about the Great White North. Let's get started on this journey. Okay, look, Canadians are generally polite. It's kind of our thing, you know? We have this reputation for being super friendly and courteous. We're like the friendly neighbors of the world, always up for lending a cup of sugar or helping you jumpstart your car. Need a hand with something? Just ask a Canadian. But this whole sorry thing, it's a bit more complicated than it seems. Yeah, we might apologize for bumping into you, but we'll also apologize for the weather, for a delayed flight, or even for things that aren't our fault at all. Even for your questionable taste in music. It's like we can't help ourselves. It's not always about being genuinely sorry. Sometimes it's just a reflex, a verbal tick, like saying like every other word. It's ingrained in our culture. Don't get me wrong, we're not secretly plotting your demise or anything, at least not all of us. But we're not all walking, talking apologies either. We have our moments of assertiveness too. So next time you hear a Canadian say sorry, just remember it's part of our charm. Yes, Canada gets its fair share of snow. We've got enough to build an igloo the size of Texas, probably. But here's the thing, Canada is huge. Like, really, really huge. We've got everything from scorching deserts to lush rainforests, from beaches where you can work on your tan to mountains where you can perfect your snowboarding skills. So, yeah, it gets cold in Canada, but it also gets hot and everything in between. Think of it like my acting range, surprisingly diverse, we just have a bit of everything. Okay, let's get this one out of the way. Canadians love hockey. It's practically our national religion. We grow up with sticks in our hands, dreaming of hoisting the Stanley Cup. But guess what? We also love other sports. Basketball, soccer, lacrosse, curling, you name it, we probably have a team for it. We even invented basketball, which is pretty cool, eh? So yeah, hockey is huge, but don't be surprised if you see a Canadian rocking a Raptors jersey or cheering for Team Canada at the World Cup. Everyone lives in igloos. Seriously? This one always cracks me up. It's one of those myths that just won't go away. Look, I'm not gonna lie, igloos are pretty cool. They're fascinating structures that have stood the test of time. They're like the original tiny homes but made of ice. Ingenious, right? But no, we don't all live in them. In fact, the vast majority of Canadians have never even seen an igloo in person. In fact, most Canadians wouldn't know the first thing about building an igloo. It's not exactly a skill taught in school. We live in houses, apartments, condos, you know, like normal people. Our homes are just like those you'd find anywhere else in the world. Igloos are part of the Inuit tradition, used historically as temporary shelters, and they're pretty amazing feats of engineering. They were built to withstand the harsh Arctic conditions. But unless you're planning on spending a night on the Arctic tundra, you're probably not going to encounter one. So next time you think of Canada, remember, it's not all snow and igloos. Canadians ride moose to work. That's a hard pass. Okay, this is where I draw the line. Moose are majestic creatures, sure, but they're also huge, unpredictable, and definitely not into carpooling. Imagine trying to convince a moose to follow traffic rules or stop at a red light. It's just not happening. Can you imagine trying to navigate rush hour traffic on the back of a moose? It would be absolute chaos. Picture the honking, the swerving, and the sheer panic of drivers trying to avoid a massive moose trotting down the highway. We Canadians may be a little quirky, but we're not crazy. We drive cars, take the bus, ride bikes, you know, like normal people who value their lives. Our commutes might be long, but at least they're safe and predictable. And trust me, you wouldn't want to be caught dead trying to saddle up a moose. Those things are basically giant, furry tanks. They have minds of their own and are best admired from a safe distance, not from a saddle. Canada is part of the US. Nope, we're good. This one hurts, guys. It's like mistaking Ryan Gosling for Ryan Reynolds. Sure, we're both handsome, talented Canadians, but we're also distinct individuals with our own identities. Canada is its own country, with its own government, laws, and culture. We're like the cool younger sibling who's always up for an adventure, while the US is the older sibling who's still trying to figure things out. We love our neighbors to the south, but we're not them. We're Canada, and we're proud of it. Okay, I'll admit it, Canada has a lot of trees. And yes, we do have some pretty impressive lumberjacks. But we're not all out here chopping down trees and living off the land. Canada is a modern, industrialized nation with a diverse economy. We've got doctors, lawyers, teachers, tech entrepreneurs, artists, musicians, you name it, we've got it. We even have our own version of Hollywood, but with less sunshine and more poutine. So yeah, we've got the whole rugged outdoorsman thing going on, but we're also a nation of thinkers, creators, and innovators. All right, I'll give you this one. Canadians do say "a" sometimes. It's like a verbal punctuation mark, a way to add emphasis or check for agreement. But it's not like we're dropping "a" after every other word. That's just ridiculous. It's more like a subtle linguistic quirk, a way to add a little Canadian flavor to our conversations. Think of it like Hugh Jackman's accent, charming and subtly irresistible. Okay, this one is 100% true. We Canadians are obsessed with maple syrup. We put it on our pancakes, our waffles, our bacon, our ice cream. Heck, I even put it in my coffee sometimes. It's liquid gold, the nectar of the gods, and we can't get enough of it. But Canadian cuisine is about more than just maple syrup. We've got poutine, Nanaimo bars, butter tarts, Montreal smoked meat. The list goes on and on. Canadian food is a delicious melting pot of flavors and influences, just like our people. All right, let's talk healthcare. Canada is known for its universal healthcare system, which means everyone has access to essential medical services without going bankrupt. But it's not entirely free. We pay for it through our taxes, and some services like dental care, vision care, and prescription drugs might not be fully covered. It's a complex system, but it generally works pretty well. Think of it like this. We're not perfect, but at least we're not paying thousands of dollars for an ambulance ride. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you learned something new about Canada today. We're more than just a land of snow, hockey, and maple syrup, although we do love those things. We're a diverse, dynamic, and surprisingly funny country with a lot to offer. So next time you hear a stereotype about Canada, take it with a grain of salt, or maybe a drizzle of maple syrup. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fun videos. See you next time.